People love to give advice they themselves never followed. And the worst advice I hear from elderly people, usually repeated for self-comfort, sounds like this: keep saving after 65. It's the responsible thing to do. Responsible? No, it's self-deception. If you're over 65 and still obsessed with the idea of saving more, you don't need more money, you need a better mindset. Let me be brutally honest, as I always prefer. After 65, the rules of the game change. Most people are too stubborn or too scared to admit it. They cling to old habits like their old furniture, uncomfortable, outdated, but familiar. So they keep saving money as if they still have 40 years of life ahead, but they don't. Pretending otherwise is one of the stupidest forms of self-deception I've observed in my life, watching people ruin a perfectly good retirement for themselves. Saving is a wonderful habit until it becomes a cage you built for yourself. Most people don't understand this because they confuse two completely different things: saving for security and saving out of fear. The first, by age 65, should already be done. The second is simply cowardice disguised as prudence. I saw people in the 1980s who worked their whole lives, retired with a sufficient sum, but then acted as if they were one missed paycheck away from starvation. They ate the cheapest food, denied themselves the slightest pleasures. They became the accountants of their own misery. They died with money they never used, and the IRS enjoyed it for them. If you think that's responsible, you are not rational, you are absurd. The goal of saving is to stop saving. Let me tell you something simple that you won't like. The ultimate goal of saving is to stop saving. The goal is to start living. Your money was meant to give you freedom, not to turn you into a frightened bookkeeper counting every penny until you die. And yes, I already hear the objection from the usual chorus of panic mongers. What if I live to 100? What if something terrible happens? What if the market crashes? What if medical bills skyrocket? What if my children need help? Here is my counter question. What if you spend the last healthy years of your life imagining problems that may never happen? Fear is the most expensive luxury in the world. It costs you decades of joy. I've lived long enough, much longer than I expected, to see how absurd people can be with their own lives. At 65, you are no longer trying to build an empire. You are trying not to turn your final years into a spreadsheet. Aggressive saving in your 20s is wonderful. In your 30s, it's sensible. In your 40s, it's strategic. In your 50s, it's necessary. After 65, you should be reaping, not sowing. No one plants seeds in late autumn except people who panic at winter and forget how nature works. Habit without thought is slavery. A decade ago, a man asked me if he should continue saving 10% of his income after retirement. I asked him a simpler question: do you want to die rich or live better? He froze because he realized he had never questioned that habit. He just obeyed it. Habit is useful, but habit